Tell me the truth. Who do you think is going to win the World Cup? Portugal has gone, and could it be an African country bringing that amazing golden trophy to Africa? Let's talk about some interesting, very gifted individuals in the industry of hospitality. On Soul Stage tonight, I want to welcome Nathi Xaba, Head Sommelier at Marble Restaurant, born raised in KwaMashu, Durban, and later growing up in Maphumulo in the Ilembe district of KwaZulu-Natal. Nathi has built an inspiring career in fine wine and hospitality. His journey began humbly as a waiter in some of KZN's top fine dining restaurants, including Havana Grill Chijen, and Little Havana. Talent and dedication led him to the iconic Oyster Box Hotel, where over 6 years he rose from wine steward to junior sommelier, assistant sommelier, and eventually restaurant manager and sommelier for the renowned Grill Room. Nathi holds professional qualifications from Let's Sell Lobster South African Wine Training in Cape Town and the prestigious WSET in the United Kingdom, bringing both technical expertise and a deep passion to every glass he pours. Seeking new challenges, Nathi moved to Johannesburg to join the award-winning 11th floor as senior sommelier. Today, he proudly serves as head sommelier at Marble Restaurant, one of South Africa's most celebrated dining destinations. Working closely with acclaimed chef David Higgs, here Nathi curates a wine list that reflects his philosophy. Good wine doesn't just pair with food, it pairs with life. So I want to welcome the man who's into fine dining on Soul Stage tonight. How you doing? Welcome, Nathi.
Good evening. How are you?
Not bad. Have you brought the wine and the food into the studio tonight?
Well,
the party has
tried,
started.
yeah.
When people see you, they see fine dining, my brother.
Perfect. Yes, very true.
And so you were born and raised in KwaMashu.
So yes, I am from KZN, KwaMashu, born and raised, and yeah, this is where it all started. As you mentioned, I worked for a few restaurants in KZN, and I was so lucky to work for best restaurant, if I can put it that way, from Havana Grill to Grill Chicana and Little Havana. Yeah, so I tried very hard to push myself up, and today I'm here.
You've done exceptionally well. Congratulations, Nathi. You know, a lot of people never really thought black people, would be masters at wine and fine dining.
Yeah.
You've done
We were thinking like that, and if you remember, very true. Back in the days, this was very few black people in the wine industry. It was mainly white people, and obviously these days things are changing, and we can see a lot of guys from KZN, guys from Zimbabwe, guys from all different places in Africa, which is very good.
Yeah. So Nathi, you got an interesting story. You started from the bottom. You were a waiter in a restaurant in KZN, and now you right there at the top. Tell me about your journey and what you learned when you were still at the bottom.
So I started as a waiter at in Sarkos Casino, beautiful restaurant. I think it was 250-seater restaurant at that time, and I mean it wasn't easy, and I think I'm not saying I was one of the best waiters, but it shows you that I did very well for myself because of when I was working for that restaurant, the owner of the restaurant, after a few years working for the restaurant, I think he sort of like noticed that I was maybe in love with wine. And yes, and then he sat with me down and said, listen, I've noticed or picked up that every month when I'm looking at my wine sales, your name's always on the top. Is it because of you love wine, or is it because of you know more about wine? I said, no, I'm only selling more expensive wines, more wines because of I want to make more money as a waiter. And he said, no, 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 that's not the way to do it. I love the fact that we are pushing, you're making more sales, but I think the best way is you need to go study wine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like confused, like, I mean, study wine, what does this mean?
Mm.
Then that's where I did the Lesser Lobster South African wine training. And then I got my certificate from there. And slowly I then moved from Havana Grill to Grill Chicana, and then from Grill Chicana back to Little Havana, it was a sister restaurant for Havana Grill.
Yeah, okay.
Then after few years as a waiter, then I joined the Oyster Box. That's where the Oyster Box I started. Then I canceled everything being a waiter. I started from scratch as being a wine steward. So one steward is more of a very junior som,
Okay.
where you mainly serve wine top up from what the head som or senior som of the restaurant has recommended. So as a one steward, you don't normally recommend stuff. You just go and top up, clean up, and
Yeah.
check if a guest need more ice on their ice bucket, etc.
Mm.
Then from there, I pushed myself. Then I did another course with Cape Wine, and then I did another course with WISET, which is the UK one, which is it's more. The other ones that I've done, they're more on local wines, South African wines, but then WISET is more of international wines, international regions, with a mix of South African wines.
Mm. Which is better for you, South African wines or we said wines from the UK? Which do you choose?
The WISET one is it's very good. It's more recognized and also, but it's more challenging as well. I think if you do a course with Cape Wine, it's always sort of like an easy one because of your South African wines, your region, even though you haven't been to some of those regions like Stellenbosch, Paarl, etc. But you know them. But then when it's come to we said the UK one, it's a bit challenging. It's a very difficult one if I can put it that way. But obviously because of they will give you a bit of a mix of international and South African wines. So some people they always fail, but some of people they sort of like push and you get it. You work hard and get it.
So Nathi, what makes you really good at your job? Is it because you drink a lot of wine or you know about wine?
I think it's a bit of both. I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
I think I always say I love wine, and then I think wine loves me. So yeah, it is a bit of both. But I mean, it's a beautiful job that we do as sommeliers, and I know most people when they get to a restaurant and the moment you mention a sommelier coming to you, they're like, no man, this guy or this lady is gonna sell me the most expensive wines. But it's not about that. It's about us as sommeliers guiding you and giving you the best food in one pairing. I mean, you go to a restaurant, you order a nice dish, but then you need a good wine to pair with your dish. That's our job to come and help you with that.
Yeah. So let me ask you, the bottle that you brought today, what is it called and why did you bring that particular bottle to the studio?
So I am not, just to make it clear, I am not here to promote this special wine farm. But the reason why I've chosen this wine is because of I've chosen the Pinot Touch from Stellenbosch, which is a wine that I have on my wine list. The reason why I choose Pinot Touch is because of Pinot Touch is a very unique South African grape.
Mm-hmm.
It only grows in South Africa. It's a cross between Hermitage and Cinsault, so it's a very easy drinking wine. This one here is a 2020 vintage from Stellenbosch, which is sort of like a medium to full body, carries beautiful structure with your dark fruits like your dark cherries, blackberries, with a hint of spice. It's a wine that goes very well with some of the dishes like your lamb dishes, and yeah.
Okay. So we really want to do an experiment tonight. I want you to be able to pour it out and give it to Kitty. She normally drinks like 4 or 5 bottles a night, so one glass will be fine. And then she can tell us, about the aroma, the taste,
about the aroma, yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's very important. It's very important to understand food in one pairing, because of I think most people when they go to a restaurant, that's where the mistake is that obviously the food menu, it shows you, it tells you what's in the dish, whereby
Yeah.
the wine, it doesn't tell you, it's just written, if it's a mellow it's a mellow, if it's a Cape Safe it's a Cape Safe. But then you order a beautiful dish and then you order a Cape Safe or a blend that doesn't go well with this dish,
Ah, I see.
and then you're gonna complain tomorrow and say no, the food wasn't good. I don't think
Mm,
as But it's because of the food that you're having wasn't going well with the wine that you've chosen. So always when you
interesting.
do a food in one pairing, make sure that you choose the right wine for a certain dish.
Yeah. So you said,
Like for example, if I can put it this way, if I can pour you this glass of wine and you're having a nice sweet dessert, it's definitely not gonna work. If I pour you this wine with maybe a beautiful steak with not a lot of sauce, maybe a little bit of pepper crusted, it's definitely gonna work.
mm,
So you always
yeah,
have to make sure that your pairing
it's proper.
is proper.
So your philosophy is good wine doesn't just pair with good food; it pairs with life. And tell me some of the good wines that pair with occasions such as weddings or birthday parties.
So for weddings, I mean, you choose wines that it's sort of goes well with those parties. But if you're in a fine dining restaurant, you choose a proper one. You choose a premium wine. It doesn't have to be expensive. You choose a premium wine that will relate to you as well as a person. That's why I said good wine with good food and good life as well. A wine has to relate with you as well
Mm,
as a
yeah.
person. Yes. You don't buy one because of its 2,000 rand. This one is 1,000 rand. You think the 1,000 rand one is it's because of it's cheaper. It's not good. The quality is in the bottle. Proof is in the
Okay.
pudding. The
Yeah.
price
Yeah.
doesn't really matter sometimes. Yes.
So what goes into building a wine list, my brother, that reflects both exceptional food and culture for the people who will be dining?
So I work very closely with the chef. So obviously I change my one list maybe once or twice a week. And remember, when I do the one list, I don't add wines on the list just because of I like them. I need to add wines on a list because of I know they're gonna go well with most of the food that we sell. And when I say culture, we get a lot of people coming from different countries to our restaurants. And when you do your one list, you make sure that you do the one list that is gonna cater all of those people. If you have a guy from German now, they want a German Riesling, they don't want to drink any South African wine, you must make sure that you have a German Riesling on your list. So my one list, for example, it has South African wines, French wines, Italian wines, and you know, because of I'm making sure that I have everything to cater for everyone.
Okay.
Also with price point as well, I don't have anything. I don't have only the expensive wines. I have mostly entry level and mid, and then going up because of I'm trying to accommodate everyone. Not everybody comes to my roster and has money to spend 3,000 rand bottle of wine.
Yeah,
But
true.
if you want something very good, I can still offer anything above 500, maybe slightly less than 500, and it's a good quality wine.
Yeah. Talking about wines, South African wines are really gaining global attention. Which local regions or varietals are you most excited about right now, and which do you think are going to be really popular South African wines overseas?
I think Stellenbosch has been doing very well from day one, but we've seen a very big change with the guys from Swartland region. I mean, there's a lot of
Okay.
going on there with their Chenin Blancs, with their Syrah. Remember, each region has their different characteristics when it comes to wine. If you're looking for a very good Pinot Noir, for example, or a Chardonnay, then you know you need to look at Hemer Alde Valley, that Walker Bay area, because of that terroir. They produce very good Chard or Pinot Noir. Then if you're looking for the nice, good Cape Sav, mellow-driven, or blend, or like a Shiraz or Syrah, you're always looking at Stellenbosch.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think Stellenbosch is doing very well. I think it's most of our clients when they come from overseas, most of them always want to visit Stellenbosch.
Yeah. 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 So, you've moved around, you're moving from Durban to Joburg to take on new challenges at the 11th floor and now Marble. What are the biggest adjustments you've had to do, as a young man coming from KZN?
If I could just tell you the honest truth is that when I decided after 6 years at the Oyster Box Hotel, I'm from KZN, I felt like, what, I think it's time for me to go and see what is happening outside of KZN. Um, I didn't have a plan. I didn't know anyone in Johannesburg. I didn't know where to go. Um, then I said to myself, you know what? If I want to do this, I need to challenge myself. Then I started making calls, and I got a spot, or I got a job at Southern Sun. I used to work for them back in the days. That Chicana is part of Southern Sun. It was under Southern Sun. So because of I think when I left them, or when I was working there, I was one of the good kids. I didn't do anything wrong, etc. So they could able to assist me and say, listen, we're gonna offer you a job, but unfortunately, um, it's not gonna be a sommelier position because of they don't hire SOMs. So I had to do what? I had to go back now and be a waiter. And I think I did that for about 6 months.
Okay.
I did that for about 6 months. Obviously, it's because of my aim was to find a proper restaurant that will look after me. And obviously, I need to look after their seller and wine list as well. Because of remember, each and every wine list or each and every wine seller in any restaurant, that is money invested by whoever owns the restaurant. So
It's true.
it takes one person to be trusted to look after that investment. So yeah, then 6 months later, I joined 11th floor in Bedford View, where I was there maybe for about a year. While I was at the 11th floor, then I got a call from the Oyster Box and from Marble. Well, we all know Marble in Johannesburg. It's one of the most powerful restaurant in Johannesburg. So
Yes, yeah.
no one will ever say no to that offer. So yeah, so I took it, and I'm still there now, and I am a head sommelier, wine program director for the Johannesburg all three restaurant.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
I have three. There's Marble, there's Saint, and there's Zoo.
With all this experience, Nati, are you able to train other young sommeliers that are coming up?
Yes. I'm trying by all means to open doors for most young guys. I've hired a lot of young guys. I've trained them, and I'm still training them. I don't give up on training them because of I remember at some point when I was in KZN, we were not getting enough trainings as junior SOMs in KZN. So I told myself, one day, if I have an opportunity to train people or to give them to open doors for them, I'll do it, and I'm doing it now.
And how long does it normally take, for a young som to get right there where you are at the tippy top?
I mean, to go to the top, it comes from your behavior as a person. I think it comes as behavior as a person because of they are people or they are guys that I know in the industry that they didn't make it because of the behavior. I mean, this is alcohol. I mean, we work
Yeah.
with alcohol. If you don't want to respect it, it's gonna show you flames because of remember you are in charge.
Yeah.
You are in charge of it. You can sip it anytime you want. But if you respect yourself and respect it, you will go to the top. So that's an advice that I can tell the young people that if you are in charge of any wine cellar, you are in control of it. It doesn't mean that you have to drink on duty, maybe take wines home without permission, things like that. Because of those things, they bite you at the end. As I was saying earlier, this is an investment. If you have a seller that is holding stock worth 50, maybe million rand, it's money that is sitting there. That you are looking after.
Yeah. All right. So, what would you say, is the best way to get into your industry? Do you need to be somebody who loves wines, loves food, and loves entertainment?
Um, I think it firstly, it's discipline because of remember, you'll be working with people. It's not about wine only, but you work with people as well. So you need to understand that you're dealing with when you walk into a restaurant that has 150 people booked, you are dealing with 150 people booked. And those people, they are coming from different places. They've got their own energy. Some of them, through, they're going through personal problems. But you have to, firstly, you have to love it, not love wine by drinking it, but it's something that you have to be passionate about it. That listen, this is the job that I'm choosing to do because of it's not just about pouring wine, but it's service as well on its own.
Yeah. So, which would you say are your three most important wine flavors, Nathi, and why?
So for me, I love very big wines. I love very like the Cape Serve, like your blends. If it's red, if it's white wine, I love Chardonnay, wooded Chardonnay. So from those, I'm always picking up structure, soft tannins, spiciness, your fruit driven if it's fruit driven, but wine has to give you more of beautiful characteristics. The tannin structure has to be there, the spiciness has to be there, your black currants, your black cherries, if it's Cape Sav. If it's a Chardonnay wooded from Hammer and Alde, I'm looking for something more on buttery, little bit of vanilla undertones, little bit of richness, something more heavier, even though it's even though it's white wine.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for having joined me tonight, and I wish you only the best. So next time I'm in Joburg, I'm coming to the Marble and we can dine.
Lovely, lovely. Come, I'm going to open a beautiful glass of wine for you.
Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
That's my very special guest tonight, talking wine and fine dining, right here on Soul Stage, my man Nathi. Thank you for joining us. This is African Diaries.